Hi guys and welcome to the Pinball Post. This is episode 33. And I am your host, RetroTechX, or Troy, however you want to address me, but welcome to the show. Tonight we're going to talk just a little bit about everything. Nothing crazy, I don't have a ton of slides or anything like that. We're not going to go through the typical notes and all that jazz. We're just going to have some fun. Have a little bit of a community conversation. I think there's lots to cover as far as that goes. Things that we generally kind of bounce around and talk about a little bit here and there, but there's always something good to talk about. So we'll start out with this community, and I did post that it is my birthday, so I'm sure I'm getting a lot of that already all day long. My phone's been lighting up from family and friends and community and people of pinball across the globe, whether they were in the UK. Job already sent me a gift card. Mecklenburg sent me bought me a coffee over here. Bought me a coffee before the show. So you guys have just been awesome. Not necessary, but I certainly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Lord Skylar, happy birthday, RetroTechX. Happy birthday from Pinball Wizard, my moderator, my awesome friend as well. Rob, Leon Spiegel, good to see you, man. Dennis B, happy birthday. Yeah, good evening all Java. Spectre Gaming, happy birthday Troy. Man, you guys are just lighting it up. Shaven Dave, Soggy Bacon, Med Ben Han, Wingo, hey all, Chalada Love, greetings brother, happy birthday brother. Man, it's been a weird week with everything happening with my mom in the last 3 weeks and everything going on. The funeral's actually tomorrow. She did pass on Monday. If you guys didn't catch that in my Discord. So my sister and I went up to Ludington to her home and kind of got some of the stuff that she was going to need for the funeral, clothes and different things like that. So pretty somber day. I drove 8 hours over the course of the day, going over there, getting my sister, going to Ludington another 2 hours, back another 2 hours, and then back to home another 2 hours. So lots of driving. But it's been a tough couple of weeks for sure. But this community has been incredible. You guys have all opened your hearts and been praying with me and supporting me in many different ways, and it's just been really, really thankful. So I appreciate all of you. Rodley, Billy Woods Mods, you guys are the best, man. Howdy, folks. Hope you're doing well. I can't possibly do it as good as you, man, but happy birthday, sir. Hope it's been a good day. It has been a pretty good day. Today I'm on bereavement, so really didn't have anything planned. The wife made me a ham and cheese omelet and English muffins with, the best strawberry jam you could possibly get, and it's just been awesome, man. So, yeah, I just got done eating ribs. We have these like cherry barbecue ribs here in Michigan at a place called Local. It is fantastic. Everything I've ever eaten in there is absolutely delicious. And so we went and had those. I had a whole rack of ribs. I was only going to be about half of them, and I figured I would take some home. But my stepson Blake was there. As you recall, Blake was the guy who beat me on Darius on my own stream. He always likes to remind me. When I did the family face-off. I should have known better. But yeah, he beat me in my own stream, but I've never heard the end of that. So I got to get him back on the show just so I can destroy him one of these days. But anyway, he had a half a rack of ribs. I had a full rack of ribs. And in the end, I think we both ate 3/4 of a rack of ribs. So one way or another, they got eaten. It was awesome. But yeah, today's been pretty chill. Played a lot of pinball. Actually. Flipper Friends, as you know, has been incredibly competitive this week. I don't know what it is, man. Little Alien, welcome to the stream, man, and thank you for the $10, dude. I didn't expect that. Thank you so much, man. Super chats. Yeah, Mecklenburg already dropped me a really big, like I said, he bought me a coffee. It was fantastic. Java already sent me a gift card. Little Alien for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you guys. It's like I said, it's not necessary, but thank you so much, man. It's just awesome to have this community, and I love being able to give back to you guys too. I know you guys give to me, and then I go back on. If you guys are streaming, I come back and I try to give back to you as best as I can as well. And obviously, I want to do as good a content as possible. Which, with that, I need to talk about something. So, I don't know about you guys. You smoked Wood Queen EM Plus. I did, man. I was very, very close today. Very, very close. I thought I could get there, and once again I was denied. But for Flipper Friends, we don't have to talk about this specifically, but Woods Queen EM Plus, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to it real quick here. Woods Queen EM Plus is a great game, and look at this, number one. I can't even do it. Number one on the for the week. It's not number one on the back glass, mind you. It's not number one on the back glass. MedBen still has that honor. In fact, we'll jump over to that real quick. It's still not a back glass score, but I was fighting for it. I thought I could get there. I really did. I really thought I could get you today, MedBen. I really did. Did not make it. That's not the one I want. Here we go. So this is it right here. You can see RTX number 2 on the back glass for this one. Number 2. Yeah, I'm down here, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a great game. Before I had about 4 million, and I was number 2 then about for a time. And then MedBen put up a huge score like within 15-20 minutes of me, which was pretty crazy. And actually, I have this screen. I could do this one. I always forget that I have this one, but this doesn't show the back glass, so yeah, I guess it doesn't. But yeah, MedBen Khan today, he put up that 7 million. I was getting very, very close, man. I thought I could get there. Didn't quite make it. But man, I tell you, what a great game. I'm starting to really enjoy Woods Queen. It's kind of it's a simplistic game, quite honestly, but for whatever reason, it's just really grown on me. You can just continue to hit the shots on it. You can hit that ramp for Parrot, I believe it is. No, I'm sorry. The ramp is Python. You hit Python again and again and again. You have to hit it 6 times, and then you hit the shot up to the hidden path after that diverter moves out of the way, and you just keep hitting that spinner and spinner and spinner and spinner. I must have had multi-ball in this thing 10-15 times. And I wasn't juggling all that well, to be honest, but for whatever reason, the score just kept going, and I was digging it. I thought that I might have a chance to get to 7 million, but one bad bounce, and boom, the golf ball was gone. I didn't even know I was on my last ball. And if you don't get all those modes, you don't get that extra ball save to save that ball, and so it was gone. But yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. But yeah, if we jump over to the scores for Flipper Friends right now, I'm actually 8th, believe it or not. And it's funny because I was actually 9th and I haven't played since. But because of all the jostling above me, somebody nicked off some points from somebody else, and I was actually able to move up because there was a 3-way tie at the time for 7th, 8th, and 9th. And it looks like Skulljoe's actually moved up a little bit. You can juggle the multi-ball and keep going as you rack up the points fast. Yeah, you sure can. You can juggle 2 balls on one, or hold 2 balls on one flipper sometimes, and just keep throwing the ball up the hidden path, and you can actually get some really big scores on that. I found I forget what ball I'm on with this game. Really can't wait until they fix the updated DMD. Yeah, I'm hoping they get that fixed. It sounds like they might be trying to do something on it. We'll see. They did just fix Firefighter Wildlands, which was pretty cool. So I dropped quite a bit in the last 24 hours. Dennis B. Yeah, I think you were 6th, if I recall. So, I mean, look at the logjam you have, though. These top 4 players are, and all of them over 140 points is insane. Cyril's right there. I mean, the competition this week has been second to none. I cannot remember there being a better week as far as Flipper Friends goes, as far as the average scores. I mean, you can see the average scores for the top 3 are all under 4. And then you have a section there where, you know, if I could get my Zancor score up, which is a terrible grind. It's a fun game, but it is a huge grind to do that. I find Woods Queen EM Plus to be able to just jump in and you can just kind of play and enjoy it, and you can do pretty well on it. Started today at number 3. Tough competition this week for sure. Yeah, and I'm hoping to stay in the top 10. But the drop off after 9, look at this, 129 to 112 is insane. I mean, that's a lot of points. You can see the average ranking of Papa Brad. He's about 13.6. The next up is, you got to be in the 7 to 8 range on all 3 tables to even be close. So that's a lot of points to pluck off from somebody else. So it's gonna settle out. I think the people here are probably gonna jostle a little bit. But man, if you're not in this top 10, I don't know how you're gonna get there to be able to pluck the points off without some really mega scores. So really cool to see. And Little A, and thank you for that too. I did notice you said keep me in you've been keeping me in your prayers, and that's been huge. I can't thank you enough for that. Between everything that's happened, and pinball's great, but there's been moments where I'm just like, something sinks in, and then I feel a little bad again, and then so anyway, keep the prayers up going. I've really appreciated that for sure. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Little Alien, for that. Dennis B. Alex gave me a shout out this week, so I've completed my life's work. No need to play Flipper Friends anymore. We were all pretty worried about Alex, let's be honest. So, Alex, he kind of scared us. He was a little late. He was coming every Monday or so. Sorry about the popping the can here. I'm cracking open a beer. My beer of choice, A&W Zero Sugar. Maybe not your beer of choice. Put your beer of choice in the chat. If you watch this show with a beer in your hand, what's your drink of choice? But yeah, it's been this week's competition has been incredibly fierce. Unlike any other week I can remember. And in that regard, I guess that's really good. We got a new table, Woods Queen EM Plus. We've got a remake, and then we have that Zencore. Then Moonflight Deluxe, dude, I love that game. And I played this game, and the funny thing is, I did not think, when I finished that game, I did not think that was a backglass score. I know it's not anymore, but at the time, it was a backglass score, and I had no idea that it would be. All right, let's see if that works. So, you hear the audio now. Audio just dropped again. So, I've definitely got some issues with audio on this channel, and I don't know if it's my Streamlabs or not. So, I am going to be switching out from Streamlabs. So, I can tell you right now, I got this DJI Mic Mini. It's a beautiful mic. It's very clean. But the audio drops out, turns to static. So what did I do tonight? I put the Yeti GX back up, and now the audio killed out again. So this will be the last stream, by the sounds of it, that I am going to be... This will be the last stream that I use Streamlabs, because I have just about had it with Streamlabs. For whatever reason, my audio has been a mess. I've messed with every setting like under the sun in the actual settings, and so that has been a real problem. So thank you for noticing that. I'm keeping an eye on it, and I've got a backup plan for everything. So I got like 3 different mics here if I have to switch over, but holy cow. So Streamlabs is not doing me any justice, so I apologize for that. So with the topics tonight, I'm pretty loosey-goosey with the topics, but there has been some stuff that we want to talk about. The first one I want to get into is Atgames Originals. Atgames Originals have been pretty awesome as of late. We had this whole conversation with Scott Sheldon, and if you don't know who Scott Sheldon is, he works for Atgames. He's a former Farsight Studios designer. He actually worked on a lot of the old Williams tables for Farsight when they were doing Pinball Arcade. So Cactus Canyon, Medieval Madness, all of those games. He actually worked on those in that capacity back in the day. Human, welcome as well to the stream. But yeah, for these Atgames originals, he's now worked on several tables for this system, and they've all been pretty darn good. We're talking about Firefighter Wildlands, which just got the updated patch today. TMNT, which is a really good game. Baby Shark. We also have Police Street Patrol coming out. I believe it's the 26th, I think. Is that correct? I will pull that up, actually. I think it's the 26th. Yes, the 26th Street Patrol is coming out. Police Street Patrol. Fantastic game. Well, I hope it's a fantastic game. I have not seen it. I know very, very little about it. I just know that it's a thing, and I know that Scott does some really great games. So that is what I'm expecting from that. I'm expecting greatness. So no pressure, Scott, but I'm expecting greatness on this table. He's learned a lot between Firefighter Wildlands, Baby Shark, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And again, he did say he worked a little bit on trying to clean up things like Sea of Thieves, Killer Instinct, Battletoads, and some of those as well. So he's definitely helped and supported those as well. So yeah, it's been really interesting to see. I expect those tables to be absolutely fantastic. Street Patrol for the 26th. I mean, the theme's going to be great. You know there's going to be sirens and things like that going on. Police chases, I would imagine. Probably burglaries of some sort. Pretty cool. But let's jump over to Firefighter Wildlands just for a quick second here. Let me see. We'll pull it up. All right. Pinball Post playfield. Okay, so here on the playfield, you can see here, this is Pinball Firefighter Wildlands. This is the table that got an update today. So if you missed out, I did a short on it. They posted this on Facebook just a little while ago. Maybe 4 or 5 hours ago, maybe. But yeah, an update. We're getting updates, people. I mean, we've got to be pretty happy about that. They've already said that they're going to update Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. So, but this one's even older. This table came out, I want to say, like fall of last year. And this is a great table. We all destroyed it immediately with the multi-ball. That was a big thing that came about with this one. There's some really cool modes on here, but you'll never see them. So that's been a thing that has been a problem from the get-go. I guess not a problem necessarily, but as far as this go, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about Atgames Originals, and then the next topic I want to kind of talk about is modes versus gimmicks. We've talked a little bit about this in the past. And it tends to be a real problem right now. But for Firefighter Wildlands, we don't play the modes because of the multi-ball. That's not a gimmick per se. That was a balancing issue, I think, on Scott's part, and he's learned his lesson on that. That if you make the multi-ball that easy to get to and that profitable, we're going to destroy the table. And that has truly happened on that one. So, however, this one actually got a fix. So one of the biggest problems we had with this table is the right kickback was failing. That got updated today, as well as the this ramp up here actually had a spot where the ball would get caught on a multi-ball, and you'd have to reset the ball or something like that to get it to fall out. They have since fixed that. So as of today, that update is live, and you can get that fixed. Soggy Bacon says, I hope the police table is more score heavy for the modes, less for the multi-ball. I would tend to agree with that. I really prefer when the modes are good. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles does a really good job of that. You can get a multi-ball in Ninja Turtles, but it doesn't command the game. You know, it's very balanced in that way. When you go through the modes, you actually feel like you're progressing through the table. You can get multi-balls by locking, you get those 6 rollovers and hit underneath Shredder, you lock a ball, do that 3 times, you're going to get that option. So there's some good stuff there, but the modes are worth something. For a table like, for example, this week's table, Moonflight Deluxe. This is a tough one. Because I really like this table. I really do like this table. Perhaps a great wizard mode can encourage people to finish the modes. And I hope that's something that took place on Police Street Patrol Mad Ben. Wizard mode. He did have a wizard mode on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, and we know that there's a wizard mode on Firefighter Wildlands. I personally have not seen it. Have any of you seen the wizard mode on Firefighter Wildlands? That's a good question for you guys. I don't know. I certainly haven't. I'm actually going to do a stream where I literally just do modes. I know I've talked about that in the past. That's something that I want to do. That would be the cherry on top, says Soggy Bacon, for Police. I think so too. A good wizard mode can make every game even better. For example, if you want to get big score in Tales from Arabian Nights, Mad Ben has proven that if you just hit the left orbit 1,000,000 times and do Harem Multiball, you can do really well in that game and you can get some mega scores. But to me, the most fun that I've ever had on that table is beating the wizard mode, doing the tug of war with the genie, and actually winning that, and doing it again and again. You can get some big points, obviously, and things like that. So, yeah. And just so you guys know, if you guys have not seen it, I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but here's the Wildlands update that I was talking about that came out. This was it, and I put it in my Discord as well. If you're not a member of the Discord, I hope you consider it. We're going to be doing a really big giveaway at 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, but we're going to do that giveaway in the Discord. So make sure you're part of the communities, and we'll make sure to be able to do some really good, cool giveaways, either from the community or from Atgames themselves. I'll be talking to them about that as well. No, that freaking mandatory evacuation. Yeah, there's some cool modes, and it's. I know there's been talk about that mandatory evacuation versus involuntary evacuation, and they seem a little backwards. But somebody explained it to me, and it made sense to me after we talked about it. But it did. Some of them are really, really tough. I won $25 this past week in the Discord. That's right, you did actually, Lord Skyler, and that was just before last week, I believe. So, and I noticed you've since changed your name to be more consistent across the platform, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Java actually gave away a $25 gift card to commemorate 150 members in our Discord, and that was awesome. So everybody who plays there you go, Lord Skyler. Everybody who's playing in the daily grind has really enjoyed it. I don't know if we got to more than 26 people this week. I gotta check. But the iscored, we have so many people contributing to that leaderboard. We're right at 26. Can you believe this? We've tied our most people ever contributing or participating in the daily grind right now. So we need one more person to contribute before 11 o'clock to break the record. So if you're not available, or if you have not participated or posted a score in the daily grind, please consider doing so. That would be 27 people. We have 26 currently. That ties the record for the most so far. But let's give RTX a happy birthday thumbs up on his video stream. Thank you, Pinball Wizard. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people who watch this show every single time, and not a lot of them watch it live. I'm getting about 250 to 300 people viewing this show every single week, regardless of what we talk about, and I really doubt all of them are subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, seriously, what are you waiting for? Do it. Give a like to the channel. A lot of people like and comment. I always definitely get back to you guys on the comments and talk about that stuff, so that's always important. To me, I love the interaction with you guys, with the fan base. It's so important. So, again, getting back to these Atgames originals, do you think that they're the best games on the platform? I tend to think that they are, just because they're new, whereas Zen tables are the most familiar. Everybody wants Williams tables. We're going to talk about the state of Zen on here too tonight. That's continuing to be a thing that just kind of happens, and you know, we don't know what happened to Zen, honestly. There definitely seems to be some structuring and reestablishing of relationships and things like that going on in the ecosystem right now for Atgames. So I certainly haven't heard anything one way or the other on that. I'm not privy to that kind of information. They let me know when a game's coming out in the next couple days or something. A lot of times I get a code for it so that I can do reviews and things like that for you guys. And as you know, I got to do an interview with Scott Shelton, which was pretty awesome. As far as the interview with customer support, we still haven't set that up yet. That's something I still have to do. RTX only wants thumbs down. That's right, Billy Woods. No, that's not true. I don't want any thumbs down. If you don't like this show, just tell me in the comments why I suck. Maybe I, I drink the wrong soda. Maybe that's it. Or you don't like the color of my hair. I don't know. I don't know, Billy Woods. I hope there's nothing like that. But Zen often is the most polished when it comes to modes. MP lacks a bit. I agree with that to a point, Pinball Wizard. The exception, honestly, has been the Atgames Originals. Everything that we've gotten from Atgames Originals has been pretty good. I mean, I can't say that's actually true. No, I guess you're right. Because the Taito games, for example, we know are much more basic. They were built kind of on an 80s pinball methodology, if you will. So that was a thing for sure. You're talking, the 80s rule sets and things like that just weren't the same. Didn't Zen recently go to new ownership? They have changed ownership quite a few different times. They've gone, they were bought by the Embracer Group, I believe it is. And so generally they popped around for sure. There has been some concern with that, whether or not that was going to affect the relationship or not. We also know, will you go blonde if you get more likes? No, I won't. I won't frost my tips. None of that. I might go gray on the sides. That could happen in the next year or two. I've already done the gray in the beard just for you guys. I'm coloring my beard gray to make myself look older. That's not true. No. I turned 48 today, folks, so I am not young by any stretch. But no, I will not go blonde, Medbanhan. That's not going to happen. So, my favorite beer is N.A. Lagunitas? I don't know what that is. It's Guy Ferrari style. Guy Ferrari gets lots of grief, man. I don't understand the hate that man gets. Like Pony Boy in The Outsiders. Shave the beard. No, we've went there, Billy Woods mods. The beard is a relatively new thing to me. If you had met me in my 20s, I had nothing but the goatee. I had the goatee forever. I never had the side beard. After my first divorce, my only divorce, I haven't divorced twice. After my divorce, I shaved off my beard completely, and I looked ridiculous. And so it did not work out. I was also quite heavy, so without the beard, it was not a good choice. It was not a good choice. So, no, we don't do that anymore. The non-beard stuff was just never going to work. So, let's see if I can find something. Oh, man. The no beard Troy. Those were the days, man. Let's see if I got a picture here. I'll find one. One that I'm willing to show because it's pretty bad. Like, just the no beard, man. See, I think I've purged most of them. That's the funny part. Looking through here, I can't even find one in my normal photos. So, whatever. I'm not going to do it. I give up. Well, here, let's go. That looks like a mug shot, but here we go. There is the no bearded retro tech from quite a few years ago. Pretty crazy. Pronounced ni ana ta. What? Lagunitas? Oh, is that how you say that? No kidding, Billy Woods. I would have never guessed that. So this is me from after my divorce. You can see I shaved my beard off completely. It was a terrible look, quite frankly. So that was me prior to that. This picture I wish was a little better resolution, but this was me as a nurse when I went to nursing school. It's pretty shabby, but there's the goatee. Yeah, man. It's pretty funny.
Here, this is here is what I looked like for the bulk of my life. I had just had the goatee. This was all before pinball. George Takei would say, "Oh my." Young Richrow looks unrecognizable. Dude, it gets worse. It gets actually worse. Believe it or not. If you had seen pictures of me in my early 20s, I look better now than I did then. It's pretty crazy. Is that your grinder pick? Absolutely. You know what, Java? You stay out of my grinder profile, buddy. Oh, brother, I tell you. You know, you guys just beat me up. It's fine. I can take it. We're getting off track. This is what happens when you have a community conversation with you guys. It always goes to grinder. Like, what are we doing? So, the mic issues, I'm definitely worried about that. But like I said, this is going to be the last time I think I use this. I could use these cheap mics. For whatever reason, the high-end mics don't seem to work. The Yeti GX and the DJI Mini mic just can't seem to work. Looks like AI to me. Nice try, AC Skinner. I appreciate you, man. Ah, it's so good. It's so funny, man, because I feel like that's kind of how it was sometimes. If we'll go back. We'll go back even further. We'll go back to some really early days. I had terrible glasses. I had, like I said, you wouldn't even recognize me. I looked terrible. But I think we all did. We were all trying to figure it out in those years, and it doesn't work out. So many pictures of my kids and things like that. But anyway, yeah, Troy is like fine wine, better with age. I think so too, Billy Woods Mods. My current wife, Shannon, would definitely agree. Looking back at my 20s, I'm like, I had bad beard, bad glasses. My hair, I had this curly hair that curled down like this. No matter what I did with it, it curled, and I just couldn't. I had to train it. It was so much work. But yeah, we're gonna try to get back on track a little bit here. Atgames Originals. What do you guys think of them? Are they some of your favorites? I think they are some of my favorite games. They're games that I come back to quite a bit. I know we've covered a ton of Zen tables on the Daily Grind, so that gives me an impression that you guys like those tables the best. Clearly, Zen tables and Williams tables are the preferred tables across the board, and I get that. Those are tables that we're all playing on Pinball FX on console. They have very rich modes and rule sets. They're complicated in that regard, whereas Magic Pixel is definitely, especially as of late, they have really changed, and there has been a progression there too. After Zencore Deluxe and Space Shuttle Deluxe, all of their deluxe tables have fallen off the map as far as rule sets go. And as you recall, those tables used to not come out all that often, and then when they started going to these newer rule sets, they started kicking out games left and right. So it is funny to see that happen, because basically all the games have this kind of rule set where they have these, Future World Deluxe and all those have these little mini games and stuff like that, which add value to the game per ball. But then the modes are, they get between 4 and 5 modes, maybe 6 at most. And then they're basically just rollovers, ramps, bumpers, and slingshots. Like slingshots, what are we doing? The fact that Magic Pixel has added slingshots as a actual mode for some games, that's a tragedy. Zechariah Pinball and Magic Pixel, you cannot continue to do that. If you continue to do that on these games, I am going to murder your scores on my reviews. Slingshots are not to be used as a mode. It is ridiculous. If you want to use those for a ball save, sure. You hit your slingshots 10 times, give you a ball save. Fine. That makes sense to me. But using slingshots as a mode where you're having to try to shoot and take risky shots for slingshots, that is ridiculous and garbage. And I do not like it. I'm not going to be okay with that. Sagi Bacon says, my favorite Zens are the originals based on IPs. The Thing, Chucky, and Jaws. That's an interesting take because I do like the Zen originals that way in particular, and I love some of the newer ones too, like Terraforming Mars, Princess Bride. Those are ones that are IP based, even Goat Simulator, which is not that great. The Thing is fantastic. I love The Thing. Jaws is pretty good. Knight Rider I was super excited about. It wasn't that great, honestly, in the end. But Battlestar Galactica. So those Zen originals, I would like to see more of those because they're games that don't exist anywhere else, even in the real world. And then they're being created. And, I mean, I think we can all admit that we love My Little Pony. Is that not the greatest IP of all time? In a Zen original. And Trolls, too. Everybody loves Trolls. That's the greatest game. Kung Fu Panda. Talk about an IP that was absolutely destroyed by Zen. That designer has only designed that one game, though. So they clearly agreed with us that Kung Fu Panda was a terrible game. Jabba says, Zachary needs to slow down the output and design something that doesn't go boring in a night. Yes, Jabba, you are absolutely correct. And that's where I get into this point of modes versus gimmicks. It seems like every table that we get from Zachariah or Magic Pixel right now that's not a or not an Atgames original. So we're talking Magic Pixel developed games for Zachariah Pinball, right? That are coming over to Atgames. If they are not developed by Scott Shelton and the Atgames Originals team, they have not been as good as they could be. And that is a real shame. How many of these tables have had a gimmick of an upper playfield or a lower playfield? Not many of them had a lower playfield gimmick. It's either been either get the multi-ball and destroy the table, or you get a gimmick on an upper playfield or something. Bring back Family Guy. Dude, I'm all for it. Those are fantastic games. Bob's Burgers, Alien Isolation. We just got back Bethesda, but we didn't get that on Atgames. I would love to see that on Atgames. But something's going on there with the state of Zen, and we can kind of blend into that conversation too. Something's going on. We don't know what, and I don't want to keep poking them on it, quite frankly. They're going to release a schedule when they're ready, and for whatever reason they haven't done it. It's going to happen. We know that there's games in the hopper. I know Earthshaker was basically ready to go, and then they held it back. And the rumor is that it's audio issues, which is fine. We had audio issues with Black Knight 2000, and okay, so this brings me to a point here. Now we're starting to see patches, right? Who's bringing us patches? Atgames Originals, Zachariah Pinball, right? Has Zen given us a patch for anything? Nope. We haven't got a patch on a Zen table in a long, long time. In fact, the last patch that I can remember on a Zen table was the Jurassic Park games, where they added the music, the licensed John Williams music to the Jurassic Park games. It's really the only ones I've seen. There's still a ton of great Zen tables to come over to the 4K. You're not kidding, man. I'm not talking just Williams. The ones that I want to see the most are the Atgames Originals. The Zen Originals. Even if we never got another Williams table just because of licensing or anything like that, I'd be fine with it. Yes, I would love to see Circus Voltaire, and I really want to see Earthshaker, and I really want to see Safecracker and some of those games come over. Yes, I would be absolutely gutted that those don't come over, but at the same time, the Zen Originals have been grossly underrepresented. I would love to see more of them. Excalibur, El Dorado. They have their own version of El Dorado, which was really, really good. Grim Tales. There's so many that are good. Zen does not care. Samurai has been broken for 7 months now. It's been, we've never got a patch for Zen tables. Mad Ben, you're with me too. It's fun finding the gimmick, but after that, you never go back to those tables. Most of the deluxe tables are like that. You're absolutely right. Zen on the Nintendo Switch tables have the same audio issues. They do, Java. It's not even an Atgames problem. Even if you play Earthshaker on Steam. I played it on my Legion Go. It is still broken. This is the Legion Go. This is not the Legion Go 2. I just have the Legion Go 2 controllers on here. I cheated because I'm cheap. I'm very cheap. I was not going to spend $13.50 for a new handheld. Look at that. You got the RTX logo. How cool does that look? Yeah, what's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, even on Steam, they're broken on Steam. The audio issues are very prevalent, and they're not going away. I don't know what Zen's doing with their engine, but they are not fixing things. For whatever reason, they're just not doing it. So maybe Atgames has said, you know, this time anyway, it sounds like they're like, dude, fix your stuff. Like, if you're going to keep bringing this stuff to our platform and letting it us get destroyed for it, fix your stuff, you know? The Zeus ones were super fun. Are you talking about the Dr. Seuss titles? I played some of the Zen originals on mobile while on vacation. They would be amazing on the 4KP. The Zeus one was super fun. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about Son of Zeus, which is the medieval or mythology one. That is a great table. Great point, Soggy Bacon. That is a great table. Yes, you're fighting Medusa, and you're what is it? They're not Valkyries, the Wyverns or something like that. The winged beasts are coming in. That's a cool game, man. Absolutely a great table. I would love to see that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm like Dr. Seuss, that can't be it. But Son of Zeus, yes, that's a great game. Hercules. Anyway, it's basically Hercules, but they call it Son of Zeus. But yeah, there's so many of those tables that are just like, man, why don't we get those over here? So Zen, you know, I've stopped poking the bear on that one. I'd love to see them come over, but they really just haven't. So I'm hoping that happens. Maybe for my birthday, they could give me Excalibur. That's the one I want. Give me Excalibur. If I had Excalibur on here, I would just be... It's one of the games that I absolutely adore, and it's so hard after playing on the Atgames system to go back and play on consoles of any kind. Whether it's vertical on a Steam, whether it's on PC... It's hard to play it on Switch, even in Tate mode. Like, I just cannot play on consoles anymore. So, Atgames, thank you for that. You've absolutely ruined me as a pinball fan on consoles because I cannot do it. I'd much rather play on the Atgames system. So, you've created this problem, so continue to bring these games out to the system because hoping for the sound fix for Black Knight 2000, but doubt we'll ever get it fixed. Mad Ben, I'm hoping that they do. I still play that game 3-4 times a week every single time. I love playing Black Knight 2000. I bet I play it 4 out of the 7 days every week. It's a game that I play every week. Being a huge Steve Ritchie fan and a huge Black Knight fan, I cannot keep myself from playing that game. It very rarely gives me any audio issues. The audio is not perfect, but it's not going to stop me from playing the game. Dennis B says, give me Princess Bride on Atgames and or VR. Dude, Princess Bride is awesome. That is a great game. I love the rule set on that. The modes are really cool. The full motion video and the DMD. Fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Great choice, Dennis B. I'm glad you brought that up. Java says, I enjoy going back to Pinball FX3. I don't know why they changed from that format. They've fixed what wasn't broken, quite frankly, Java. And that's the sad part, because Pinball FX3 runs incredibly well on all platforms. And then when they went to Pinball FX, they essentially broke most of their games for everybody else. And I don't know why they did it. It's been, quite frankly, terrible. I don't get it. I don't honestly get it. It's just been an issue from the get-go. So I'm with you on that one, man. I don't understand it. But the Atgames originals have been a nice alternative. They're the first ones that I feel like every time we get one, I'm gonna get my money's worth on these. I'm gonna get modes to play. I'm gonna get some mini games to play. The things are a lot cool. They're not licensed IPs, which is something I would love to see more of from Zachariah Pinball and Magic Pixel. And I'm not referring to games like Primal Carnage or Fallen Aces or Blood West or what is it? Chernobyl Bite is the new one. That one actually looks like it might be pretty cool. I haven't seen what those games look like yet. I'm hoping those. I hope they have some level of. It's like a first-person shooter PC game. So I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, we'll get some night vision type color shifts on those. Would be really cool. But the fact that those aren't coming to Atgames is kind of a bummer. But I think they can hold those back from Atgames because Atgames originals are not going to Steam. So I feel like there needs to maybe be a handshake there, and if those guys could get together and swap games a little bit, it'd be really cool. Happy birthday, Steve, or happy birthday to me from Steve. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate you, man. AC Skinner says, is Atgames done if Zen dries up in the coming months? It doesn't look like anything else is in the hopper other than a couple tables. I don't think they're done by any stretch. As we know, the 4KP crowd is only a small portion of their sales base or their sales of anything. So everything that's on the HDP Micro and HD is the bulk of their sales. So they're doing okay just with Magic Pixel. We know that we're going to get the Gottlieb update, but most people have already bought that if they were going to buy it. So we'll see, man. My buddy Squeakers, sup, man? I assume you're talking about Steve Sales. I'm not sure what that refers to, man. Soggy Bacon says, same, Chris Z. I would pay $400 to $500 for better guts. Hell, I'd pay for that. Are you referring to... Oh, Chris Zimmerman. Yeah, I missed that one. Would love an upgraded board offering from Atgames for the 4KP. I'd definitely be a buyer for better Zen performance tables. Yeah, you know, and I've like I said, I've poked the bear enough on this one for sure to ask them, you know, I really want to see what Zen tables will play like on the HDP, because if I don't know if any of you guys have the HDP in the chat, if that's important to you, but the HDP has been my absolute go-to for all things Flipper Friends. I just score better on the HDP on same game from the 4KP and from the 4KP to the HDP. I have basically all the tables. Well, not necessarily. I don't have all the tables for the HDP. In fact, I'm missing a ton of them actually. But I do have Pinball Net on here. And so I play most of the Pinball Net stuff on there, which is similar to what I have in the 4KP. But my scores in general are just better on the HDP, and I think it has to do with latency. So I am absolutely chomping at the bit to get some Zen tables on the HDP just to see what they play like. I think they're missing a huge opportunity right now to start releasing those tables on the HDP. Because I tell you what, if I can play Black Knight 2000, for example. Alright, so let's go to Black Knight. Black Knight 2000, fantastic game, right? We all know it, we all love it. What did I do? Darn it, I just jumped too far. I was on Black Knight 2000. Okay, Black Knight 2000, here we go. We're going to show the playfield. So there's Black Knight 2000, right? Everybody knows this table. Stable frame rate and lag. Yeah, so Human on the 4KP, this upper playfield, trying to hit the upper flipper shot to the drawbridge on Black Knight 2000 is really, really difficult to do. Now, if I do this on VPX on here, no problem. No problem at all. I can hit that drawbridge all day long. It feels crisp. It feels clean. Now, granted, graphically, VPX version of Black Knight 2000 does not look near as good as this one. Now, this is beautiful. The physics are very different. They're still manageable. They're still good. One thing I did do to the wizard install of VPX version of Black Knight 2000 is here we go. Let's just go to it real quick. I'll just show you. Black Knight. Where are you at? Black Knight 2000. There we go. This table, and I hope this loads up. Sometimes my VPX tables just refuse to load, but I got it to work the other day. So apparently I had a Wi-Fi issue that I was using a Wi-Fi extender, and it just did not like it. So it looks like it's going to come up no problem here. Same would give me more power for upgrading the 4KP. Guts would love a better performance. Me too, man. There's no question. There's the people who own the 4KP would spend another $1,000 if it meant getting what they wanted, but they're never going to do it because they would rather release a whole new platform. And then every time they do that, they're going to worry about that. So this is the VPX version. You'll see here the wizard mode, or the wizard install. I actually tweaked this so that it was a little bit wider. It was a little too narrow, and so I widened it out. But the upper playfield shot on here, and I know you can't necessarily hear this all that well, but this shot here, see how I hit that? I could hit that drawbridge shot right there. That is an impossible shot to hit on the 4KP version. Like, I don't understand it. That shot is so ridiculously hard to hit on the 4KP version of Zen, and it's due to lag. And it's something they have to fix. It's just not great. And I love this version. It is a beautiful table. It plays good, but it's just, there's too much lag. We know there's audio issues. The graphics on standalone are bad because we dumped the settings down to hit the right FPS. Yeah, Pinball Wizard, you're absolutely right. And that's a real shame. It is higher res, and that's hurting tables on 4KP versus HDP. You know, and I don't, if they went back right now and just said, hey, every game that we've already released on the 4KP, we're going to dump the resolution down to 1080p, every one of us would agree that that would be a good idea. Every one of us. Some nice scores put down this week on the Daily Grind, guys. Well done. Thank you to everybody taking part. Yeah, Java, you've been all over it too, man. And we got some great scores on the VR side, the VPX side, across the board. So that's why we got to go to an OTG or VPN at some point. It's just too much for 4KP. So with that, it's a great segue, Pinball Wizard, because Real Pinball Frenzy. Now, this is something that is continuing to happen in this community that we really haven't talked a whole lot about. A lot of us digital owners are starting to buy Real Pinball tables. Have you guys noticed this? You've been upgrading to new VPin tables. You know, Spectre Gaming did it. Ashcore just did it. Both of them are local to me. Matt Olivares also did it, local to me. All three of them bought VPins. So the same exact VPin, quite frankly, and they're all awesome. And then Ashcorp doubled down. Okay, so Real Pinball Frenzy, he went and got a Godzilla Premium. He was playing it on stream. I think he's playing it on stream right now. If you want to go watch him, you can certainly do that. I don't fault you for wanting to do that. It's an awesome table, and it's fun to play. And Tomato Grass, you know, just got F-14 Tomcat. If you've watched the streams for that, again, amazing system, and that's a System 11. Game's like 40 years old, but it's awesome. It's awesome, and we don't have it on the 4KP. You cannot play it. I was hoping that Zen would come out with that table this year, but we have not seen it. So for whatever reason, they just haven't had them. I'm ready for a new PAT version of VPX. Honestly excited. A pay version of VPX standalone. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to come, Human. I don't know, man. VPX, the beauty of VPX is that it is community sourced, and they want people to learn how to install it and use it themselves. And it's just, that's kind of how it's been. Maybe they could make lower res an option on the future system upgrades, says Wingo. I would love it if they just did it right now and just said, you know, maybe Atgames could build it in. Maybe that's the option we need to take. I wonder if Atgames has the ability to drive or to choose the resolution of the panel. Because if they could choose the resolution of the panel to be 1080p, for example, okay, on the Legion Go. On the Legion Go, this system right here, there's the RTX logo, which I just think is cool when I can do that. Just saying, right? So Legion Go, this is a 8x8 inch screen, which has a resolution of 1600p. But you can also run it at 1200p or all the way down to 800p. So what's great about that, now this is a weird aspect ratio. I think this is a 16:10, so it's a little bit different. You know, you're not going to get a true 1080p. But on the game system, if they did a hardware response to the panel by driving the panel resolution down to 1080p on select games, from a hardware perspective, we could get away from having to convert or change the games that we're getting from Zen. So maybe that's he's talking hardware RTX and add-on board basically. Yeah, I know he is. They're not going to do that. I think is it true? We're not going to get an additional add-on to the 4KP. They're not going to do it. I think, haven't we all discussed this before? They said that they were originally going to do that. They didn't. And then, guess what? The HDP exists, which suggests that they're never going to do that. The fact that this thing is existence and sits here in my office here tells me that they're never going to do an upgraded 4KP. That what we have is what we're going to get. And that 1080p is what their option was. You know, price-wise, they need to be able to put these things in homes for under $2,000. The 4KP has already exceeded their hardware expectation as far as price, I think. So, not an official add-on, a third-party add-on board to run VPX standalone at a higher level. You got to be pretty smart to be able to do that. I've questioned whether or not we couldn't add RAM, and apparently they said that the way they did it doesn't allow it to be upgraded easily. So I would be totally up for that. I've added RAM to quite a few different things, but because of the way that these chips are built, apparently that's more difficult to do in this capacity. So it's a real shame, because I would love to see that. I would upgrade the crap out of this thing. I upgrade stuff. Like, I would totally do it. But yeah, I'm thinking what could work with the current hardware is if Atgames released a graphics patch, if you will, to be able to drive the panel down to 1080p on the 4KP. And we could do that for Zen tables. We could literally go into the settings of each Zen table and push it down to 1080p. Then it would make it better, maybe. If you're a hardware guy and you know if that would possibly work, I'd be all for it. Now, I've heard rumors that the reason why we have the lag in the first place is because of the 4K panel, and that there's something about the panel that creates the lag. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I remember hearing something about the panel being the reason. I know it's not a 120 hertz display or anything like that, or maybe it is. I can't remember the specs on the actual panel. But there's been some talk about it for sure. 8 gigabytes of RAM is built in. Would need a full PCB swap. Okay, so that's what I'm referring to. I knew 8 gigabytes of RAM was too low. And it will fill Human, and we'll fill you in the Discord about it. It's been worked on. Okay, interesting. So, you could do a lower resolution option on a future upgraded system. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're referring to. But yeah, Real Pinball Frenzy is a thing right now. We keep going back to Zen because it's such a hot topic. The state of Zen on Atgames is flaky at best right now. We know that. And it's a shame because we all want what we want, but for whatever reason, Zen's not patching stuff. So if they're going to continue to release games that aren't patched, I don't know that I want to continue to buy them. Honestly, I'm going to buy them anyway, but I gotcha. So yeah, it's been a thing for sure. But going back to that, I feel like there's some level of uncertainty there that we just cannot seem to get away from when it comes to that. One of the things that I'm more upset about in a lot of ways is this sound effects kit, for example. This sound effects kit for the HDP is an add-on that I absolutely want to have. This thing's been out of stock for like 6 months, 8 months. Like, if you have an HDP, you do not have a sound effects kit. Does anybody have an HDP that has a sound effects kit in it? Like, I don't know that there is one right now. I would do it for every table if it were a global option in the setting. It would be improved gameplay, Wingo. You know, that's a good point. I think I probably would too. And that's what I'm kind of going back to. Let's emphasize that point for a minute, Wingo. You're absolutely right, dude. I just said with the HDP that every game that I play better on the HDP than I do on the 4K. Even for tables that are Magic Pixel. And those are supposed to be 4K 60 on the 4KP, and they are. But I still think there's enough lag, and that it doesn't make sense to me because I don't think there's that much lag on those tables. But for whatever reason, I play better on the HDP. And I don't think it's I don't even have the upgrade. I haven't even upgraded the flippers on this thing. I upgraded the flippers on the 4KP to the gold leaves. I have not done that on the HDP. These are stock. I have not changed them at all. Yeah, the sound effects kit is $500. But I would pay $500, but you can't even get it. You cannot even get it. Yeah, the sound effects kit is $500. But this thing's been out of stock. I've clicked on notify me when available. I put in 2 different emails. They're still not in stock, and it's just bumming me out, man, because I would love to have that in the HDP. Less latency on the HDP, so probably why your scores are better. That's what I'm thinking, Mad Ben. That's what I'm thinking. And that's the funny thing is we don't even have Zen on the HDP. So are you telling me that like it's literally the system? I don't know. Even that would suggest that even Magic Pixel tables have less lag on the HDP. And that ticks me off. It's the turtle power, Chris Zimmerman. I wish that was the case, honestly. I do love the turtle cab. It is beautiful. I do love it for sure. Hey, Ryan Gong, what's going on, man? Yeah, dude, I don't get it. And it's frustrating as all get out because I want the 4KP looks so nice. I just want it to perform really well. The Brick has it for $4.99 and it's available in June. Really, T-Bone. That would be good to know. Sounds like it's the lower res. Right, Wingo? I think it is. Oddly, the 4KP is not sold anywhere in Canada, but we can order the sound effects kit. We got to work on a trade then, Gone. We're going to have some international trades. I will bring 4KPs to the border, and you guys can bring me sound effects kits. From the Brick, apparently. Zen scores will definitely be better on the HDP if you're reducing latency. Right, Mad Ben? Like, it's maddening because we can't seem to get everything that we want on one platform. I've already bought a lot of these tables 3 different times on 3 different Atgames ecosystems. Right, T-Bone? You think that's funny? I'm with you, man. We're down. Like, yes, deal. Right? Let's do it. I'll get some 4KPs. We'll throw them in the back, and we'll get them there. And you guys can give me sound effects kits, and I will distribute those to the entire United States. See, that is just unacceptable. It is unacceptable to even consider what that looks like. I know, it's crazy. I'm gonna get a really big U-Haul. I'm gonna put a huge Atgames logo on it, and I'm gonna drive over to Windsor, and I'll be like, you guys can meet me at the tunnel entrance on Windsor, at the Windsor side. I will drop off the 4KPs, and you guys can give me the sound effects kits, and I will swap them out and we'll come back over here. Higher scores on Funhouse, right? Funhouse, great game too, by the way. $4.99 Canadian is what's the $3.50 US? No, I'm talking $4.99 American. So it's $500 US dollars. So I don't know what that would be in Canadian dollars, but we'll figure out the exchange rate. Like, I don't care. We'll figure that out. I might get thrown in federal jail for, I don't know, what would it be? It's not laundering. It's international trade. I don't know what this would be. Makes me wonder though, like, what is going on there? I know my daughter, she lives in Sarnia. She's in Canada now. She's applying for Canadian citizenship or dual citizenship. She wants a 4KP. Can I take her one? Right? I don't know. Good question. We would all get arrested. Yeah, probably. It's pretty likely, yes. Yeah, $4.99 in Canada would be like $3.50 US. Okay, I gotcha. Who's gonna put the money on RTX's books when he gets arrested for smuggling pinball parts? Yeah, I'm gonna need a hell of a lot of super chats and buy me coffees to cover the smuggling fees for the international at-game sales. Bootlegging sound effects kits, right? Absolutely. I know, man. It's just crazy. This community is in general has been insane when it comes to that. We definitely want what we want, and the fact that you can't get certain things in certain areas has just been insane. MedBen says they are going to open the 4KPs at the border to see if you have illegal immigrants. If don't ask how. How I know. Take it out of the box. You'll be okay taking one over. It's okay. You're saying you gotta put it all together and let them see what it is. Yeah, it's just technology at that point, right? It's a gift. It's a gift. And the one that I would be giving to my daughter would in fact be a gift. So I think I could work that out. You pay me and buy me coffees, and I bring you the 4KPs. You need a 4KP, T-Bone. Yeah, I know, man. Like, I feel like there's got to be an option for this. I'm so close. I'm so close to going to jail. But anyway, Billy Woods is from Jersey. He knows a guy who knows a guy who can get stuff over the border. Pinball wizard. Don't you start, man. You're going to get us all in trouble. So, I think I can hide in a 4KP. You think I can hide in a 4KP? Oh, man. Yeah. I keep going back and forth with it, but it's like the HDP versus the 4KP and all the options that we're talking about. You're missing out. See, I don't know if you're missing out. The 4KP is great, but there are things that it's just not as good as it could be. And that's the real shame of it all. A 1080p display in the 4KP or a 1080p option in the 4KP would be, I think, the sweet spot. So, delete this video. It could be evidence. It's true. This is no longer being recorded. We're just going to get rid of this. So, look the other way. Look the other way. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to do that. Yeah, so if RTX Pinball just disappears someday, you'll know why. Yeah. Oh well. We can fight about that forever, man. So anyway, with all this real pinball frenzy and all of us talking about the 4KP versus the HTPs and all this stuff. So, sadly, I know, but I can't afford a virtual pinball at $9,000. T-Bone, you're right, man. Dennis Mangill, thank you for the happy birthday, dude. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, my birthday's been pretty awesome. I will say, my mom, who passed away this week, really took care of us kids. So she had some money piled up that she did not use that I wish she had. I wanted her to travel more in the last few years, but she had a stroke in 2012. I'm sorry, in 2014 and 2016 she had a couple of strokes, and it kept her from wanting to travel. So she had money stockpiled away. Well, my sister and I are going to be getting that. And so one of the things that I'm going to be buying is a real pinball machine. Let's be honest. It was going to happen. So, super chats to cover the bail money. Yeah, but remember, YouTube takes 40% of the super chats. So if it's buy me the coffee, I might have a better option of actually having enough. I'm very sorry about your mom. Yeah, I appreciate that, T-Bone. It's been a tough few weeks with that, for sure. Happy birthday. Yeah, two of my pals in the States ordered the micro today for $250. In the States. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And so I am going to be buying a real pinball machine. Probably, I don't know what the lead times are for a P3, a multimorphic P3, but that is what I want to get. So they posted a picture today, and the top half of it was essentially what I want. I want a Portal extended P3 multimorphic, and I want the modules for Princess Bride, Weird Al, and Final Resistance. So these are what I am going to be buying later this year. somehow or another, this is going to happen. So, granted, this is probably going to be $20,000, but I'm going to make it happen. So at some point, maybe this year, I will be streaming these tables on this channel. So Mom has taken care of me. I'm going to be able to pay off any debt that I had. I still have yet to buy a house. It's been a hot minute. I don't know that I want to buy a house yet, but there will be options for that. So looking forward to seeing me with a new pen. Yeah, and Getaway is another one that I want. So I know Black Knight 2000 I've considered many times. I've thought about Mandalorian. But I definitely want a Multimorphic P3. I can't wait to see what their new IP is. I'm hoping we find out this year that Multimorphic has another really cool IP coming. I would love it if it's Half-Life. That would be right in the wheelhouse, would it not? Just say you can get a pinball here in Canada super cheap and then drive it back after delivering a 4KP. That's true. How many actual, do you guys have a lot of real pinball machines in Canada that are for sale in the marketplace? We could make that work. I think that could work. Let's do that, Ryan. We could YOLO. You only live once. I know, man. And I've been saving up for a real pin for a while, and I was gonna get there eventually. I was gonna get something lesser. I was going to look at like Tomato Grass. He picked up F14 Tomcat for a pretty reasonable price. You can get those for you can get them for under $3,000. You got to be careful about what you buy because a lot of them are banged up. Harry Potter, no, dude, come on, I'm not gonna get a Harry Potter. No. I've played Harry Potter. It's fine. It's too busy. Dennis, I appreciate your candor. Now, I thought about Pokemon, but I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I'll be interested to see what Transformers looks like. Gen 1 Transformers from Stern. That would be something that I would consider. If it's cool. But I really like the 2012 version of Transformers, which I can get dirt cheap. So you can get that for like $4,000 nowadays. So I don't know that I would buy the Gen 1 and pay $10,000 for it or $8,000 for it when I could get the original one for a lot cheaper. It does make me wonder what that would look like. But yeah, I considered that. I'm perplexed. Here in 15 minutes into this stream, my mic died. And that wasn't even the mic mini, but yet this stupid mic with this webcam, this stupid Logitech 614, which this webcam I've probably had for 15 years, this mic has performed just well this entire time. I don't understand it. You can get a Black Knight 2000 or a Getaway for a good price, probably $3,000 or less depending on condition. I've seen the pin side has Getaway listed for about $4,500 on the low end. So, but Getaway I would absolutely buy. Black Knight 2000. Dude, I don't know that I would buy. I love Black Knight 2000. I do want to buy Flash. They have a Flash up here in Bad Axe, Michigan, about 2 hours north of me. $1,800. So that could happen. I would love to buy that table. Super cheap. If you guys have not played Flash, it's Steve Ritchie's first table. It is awesome. It doesn't have call outs, but it is an awesome 3-flipper game. I play it on VPX. I've done Elton John is great. T-Bone, I love Elton John. That's a great game. Another 3-flipper Steve Ritchie game. 39 Clues fans. It's a great choice, dude. I love Elton John. I'm not a huge fan of the theme of Elton John necessarily. Like, I like his music. His music's good. But the gameplay is fantastic. Elton John is a fantastic game. They should AI generate a pinball table. I think they do. Who doesn't? It seems like everybody does anymore. Yeah, I saw a real Addams Family for 12,000 Canadian and could probably negotiate, which is about 9,000 US. Yeah, even Addams Family, I wouldn't want that table. Get a Fishtails? Fishtails is great. You get that for... Boy, I don't know. What is Fishtails nowadays? I'm curious now. Get me fired up on Pinside. Man, we could spend hours on here. Pinside is great. If you have not been to Pinside and just started browsing around and trying to see what's great in the community, Fishtails is a fantastic game. It is a lot of fun in on location too. So if you look at Fishtails here, look at the price of this thing, man. $4,400 to $5,100. Fishtails is awesome. I would do that. I would love a getaway. Almost got the billion this week on the tournament. Java, I'm with you, man. I'm shooting for $1 billion on getaway also. Talk about an awesome game. And it's one of Steve Ritchie's best tables of all time. I think it probably is his best table. I love Black Knight 2000, but Getaway is much deeper than Black Knight 2000. You personally love High Speed. I do like High Speed. You know, I need to play more High Speed, honestly, T-Bone. I really like that one. They had one locally here for about $3,000 that I considered. Actually, it might have been cheaper than that, now that I think about it. But High Speed's great, dude. High Speed is a great table. And it's one that is pretty reasonable. Here we go, from 86. Yeah, $2,400 to $2,800. Like, this one was reasonable. I seen one here. It was in great shape, but I hadn't saved up the money yet. I only had about $1,000, so I wasn't quite there for sure. Getaway over BK 2000. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Ultra V Pin 8. Yeah, Dennis, everybody around me has bought these Ultra V pins. Matt, Spectre Gaming, and Ashcore, all in my Discord and on my YouTube channel. They have all purchased that, and it's cool, mind you. I might have to get one just for streaming purposes. I think the V Pin, the Ultra V Pin 8, would be awesome for streaming. I could stream basically anything on there. Venom Pro is a great value for $6K. Yeah, I like Venom Pro. It's good. That's a Brian Eddy table, I believe. Don't know the used price. Yeah, Venom Pro, dude, I thought you could get that for pretty cheap. That was one of those ones that, for whatever reason, Venom was coming down. And if you look at the Venom Pro, I still think it's it's still, look at that. I mean, you can get a Venom Pro for the same price as a Getaway. That's crazy to me. Like, how much for a Totan? Oh, dude, it's got to be $12,000 for Totan. Tales of Arabian Nights is a very hard game to find. In fact, I've never played one in person. I don't believe. I think they have it. Yeah, you're looking at $10,000 to $11,600 for Tales of Arabian Nights. So it's not cheap. But talk about, and there was 3,000 of those made. It's not like they're particularly rare. But who the heck is going to sell a Tales from Arabian Nights? If you have it, we know, come on. We all know you want a Dr. Dude, Sheep and Dave. No, I do not. Screw Dr. Dude. I would buy a Party Zone. I considered a Party Zone. I like Party Zone. And if you played Party Zone in person, it is much better than the digital version of Party Zone. Okay, so Party Zone is a great table. I played this one locally. That's only $3,000. And that's a fun table. Like, if you didn't want to get something like a Getaway for $4,000, you could get Party Zone. I mean, I granted they're not the same, but damn, crazy for Totan. Never played one in person. See, Mad Ben, that's what I'm talking about. Like, people who have Totan are not selling it. They are not selling that table. It's just not gonna happen. It's too good of a game. Starting a new stream series, shopping for a real pin. We could, Ryan Gong. I could seriously do that every week. Because there is some really good tables out there at a really good price. If you just come here on Pinside and you go to the marketplace and you look at the classified ads, like I have it set here on max $4,000. This is what I was looking for. And before, located within Michigan, no further than 200 miles. And this does not need to be just Michigan. All states within 200 miles is more appropriate. Fine. So look at, there's a Terminator 2. $3,500. I mean, that's a good game. Phantom of the Opera is a great table too, actually. Totan is like Circus Voltaire price, basically. Yeah, they're both very close to that $10,000 range. Soggy Bacon says Totan is way more fun than the 4KP in real life. It is. You're absolutely right about that, Soggy Bacon. The digital version of Totan is in fact way more fun in real life. The real pinball got stuck on the snake skill shot a lot too. Really? Oh, I didn't know that. There's an F14 Tomcat. So this one is in Dayton, Ohio, and look at $2,300. It's pending. That's a great price for an F14 Tomcat. But again, this table's old, folks. Like, this is an old table. So we're talking a 40-year-old game, but man, that's beautiful condition. Looks great. $2,300, like, amazing price. Who wouldn't buy that? F14 is a very difficult game, mind you, and it's kind of a one-trick pony, right? You're seeing if Tomato Grass has been playing it. It's fantastic. It's a great game. NBA Fast Break, great table. That's too much for that, but there's Black Knight. This is the original Black Knight, so this is the 1980s version. So, but look at the price. You got $3,200. I would rather spend the extra money and get a Black Knight 2000 than an original Black Knight any day. It's a cool table, but this is gonna be messed up. Like, there's gonna be some wear and tear on this sucker. This is an old table. I think this is late 80s, is it not? Yeah, 1980. This thing is as old as I am. Like, this is 46 years old. So I was born in 78. Like, this is an old table, folks. Now they made 13,000 of these. Can you believe that? If anybody who wants a Black Knight should be able to get one, because they're old, they're fairly cheap, and I would expect that they get sold quite a bit. You know, you'd think they'd be on the market quite a bit here and there. But what's happening in this community of digital pinball people that a lot of us have been looking at real pinball tables lately, and there's a lot of them being purchased. Like I said, Ashcore just bought Godzilla Premium. Spectre bought Dune, but he's waiting 6 to 8 months to get the darn thing. That table is taking forever to be built. Maybe because of the Winchester. I thought that they switched gears and that they were gonna get all the Dune purchases and get them out of the factory, and then they were gonna switch over to Winchester, but it does not look like the case. How much for a Medieval Madness or Attack from Mars? Oh, dude. We'll take a look, but I bet they're probably $12,000 US. It's not out of the question. We'll look at Attack from Mars first. I know they're not cheap, dude. They're not cheap. These are the remakes. If you look at the original 95 version, 3,400. We're talking $8,000 to $9,600. Not cheap. So here's your price right here. That's the original. Now, if you go to the remake, classic, we'll stay away from the specials and the premiums and limited editions and all that stuff. But this one here, that says you can get it for $6,500 for the remake version. No, I take that back. Between $87,000 and $10,000. So they would never have bought my JJ Guns N' Roses if I hadn't owned a 4KP first. The 4KP got me hooked. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Real pinball frenzy is happening because of us playing digital pinball. There is no question that a lot of us in the chat here in the Discord are playing pinball, we're loving pinball, and we are taking our hard-earned dollars and we are buying real pinball tables. No question. And that is exactly what I am talking about. It is happening on a large scale. It's not just the 4 or 5 of us in my Discord. There's way more of us doing it. How many of us recently have talked about buying the Wonderland pinball from the Alice Goes to Wonderland? Chaotic is just got rid of $1,000 worth of stuff, and he's gonna buy one. He wants to pick one up. Fat Hog, who I don't know if he's in the chat. I haven't seen him tonight. He mentioned that he bought one. He loves it. Billy Woods Mods, you put together one on your stream the other day, last week. People tend to really like that table, and it's a really simplistic rule set. That game is basically $1,000 pinball machine. I'm looking forward to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version. In fact, I wonder, does Wonderland even show up in here? I mean, it is technically a real pinball machine. It sure does. Look at that. So this is Alice Goes to Wonderland. They're saying $1,200 MSRP. You can get this for $1,000 on eBay right now. So that's a thing. You could definitely do that. And there it is. I mean, it's $1,000 system. It is what it is. People either love it or hate it. Scaled down mechanic. And again, this is a 5/8 scale. It's not a true full size cabinet. So it's a good blend between digital and real, but it's not quite like I would rather save up, another $1,000 and go after a high speed or a F-14 Tomcat than play Alice. For me. So now, if Alice Goes to Wonderland Amusements wants to send me an Alice Goes to Wonderland and want me to review it, I'd be happy to do so. Wink, wink. But yeah, I totally understand that. So, but yeah, Real Pinball Frenzy, man, this is a thing. It's absolutely a thing. This is my collection. Like, I don't have a collection, but I have a wish list, and here it is. These are the ones that I have deemed that I would purchase at the price that they are. Now, granted, Final Resistance and Weird Al, these are the prices with the cabinet, so that's a little misleading on these ones. Portal Extended is the $12,000 version, so that's the whole thing. Most of these modules for the P3 are about $3,000 or so. So this is like Heist would be about $3,000. Weird Al would be about $3,000. Final Resistance would be about $3,000 for the actual module itself, not the whole cabinet. So I would buy the Portal Extended version of the Multimorphic, and then buy the modules and just swap them out. So I wouldn't have to worry. I wouldn't worry about the artwork and all that stuff being swapped out every time. And then Princess Bride is the other one. I would just want the module. I wouldn't want all the artwork and the whole thing of it. Because there's no extended portion of that. I would want to see, like I said, I want to see their new IP to see if there's more extended stuff. I would love to see what's happening there. But that's what we're talking about, guys. That is kind of the gist of this pinball. This has just been a community conversation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this format was kind of ridiculous. I didn't have a lot to cover necessarily. We'll cover the one ball stuff real quick. There's only a couple in here that I had that I'll show. I had one from Mecklenburg, which is quite funny. So this is from Frontline from yesterday's Daily Grind. He had an amazing score on this. Look at this score from Mecklenburg. Absolutely awesome. And again, Mecklenburg, thank you for the buy me a coffee. That was very gracious of you. I really appreciate that. I don't know if it's for my birthday or just everything. It's just been awesome. So thank you for that. But this score from you is awesome. Frontline, to have that score on the first two balls and then go gangbusters and get 5.6 million on this table is awesome. I mean, and you're on the last ball. It literally says one ball left on the back glass for this. There is no mistaking. You are on the last ball. You know it going in. So awesome score in this one. And then this one here, this is from Pinball Wizard 2023. This is a back glass score, folks. Or I think it is or was at the time. Let's see here. We're looking for Woods Queen, EM Plus. I think this is still a back glass score. Is it 25? Yes, it is. So this is still the back glass score. He's number 7th right now. So he's number 7 with this score right here. This guy right here, Pinball Wizard 2023, with this score, that is a back glass score, folks. And so he did it all basically on the first ball, and then ball 2 and ball 3 just kind of crumbled. And that thing kind of happens sometimes. Pretty wild to see. So that was the one ball challenge this week. And then the other thing we'll cover just briefly is the iscored for the Daily Grind. These scores. Look at all these scores. Did we get to 27 people? No, we did not. We only had 26. Such a shame. We got a half hour to go on the Daily Grind. Fallout. Looks like Fallout for Java is going to be he's going to be winning the VR challenge for that one. Sorry, it's behind the chat here a little bit. Bram Stoker's Dracula is going to be Soggy Bacon at 1.3 million. I'm sorry, 1.3 billion. The Lost World for Skoljo, 26 million points. Woods Queen, so number one on the back glass currently is Mad Ben Han with 7 million points, and he won. At the time, I was number 2 then too, so first place is the second loser. Always the case. I cannot match Mad Ben Han on Woods Queen, at least not yet. I'm going to keep gunning for him though. Stop nudging me on Tales from Arabian Nights. Almost 1 billion points on Tales on Totan. That is insane, folks. These are games that I would have loved to have played. Totan and Whitewater, I just couldn't get broke free enough to do them. I think they happened over the weekend. So, great scores, guys. Soggy Bacon, 1.2 billion on Nature's Fury is absolutely insane. Med Ben Han, another 19 million. I don't even think that's it's not even the best score on Frontline, believe it or not. Frontline, for whatever reason, it's just one of those tables that you just grind and grind and grind. I don't think 19 million is the top score. I take that back. That is a number one backglass score from Med Ben Han. That is amazing, dude. Congrats on that. That's a number one in the backglass on this channel on Discord, just because of us playing these daily grind tables. So you will get the top score on Woods Queen if you keep trying, Med Ben. I'm trying, dude. I just got to keep grinding on it for sure. But then I will inspire you to play it again and you'll beat my score again, but it's fine. You've inspired me to play better on a lot of tables, so watching your gameplay and stuff. So Jabba on Getaway. This is insane, dude. You almost have us. I think he did this I believe he did this on VR, I think. But as you know, on Daily Grind, you can play any of these tables that are available on any platform. So if you want to play them on mobile, if you're on a cruise like Soggy Bacon was, you can play on your mobile phone. You can play on any of your consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. You can play it anywhere you can play it, so really cool. And then Scared Stiff, Soggy Bacon, almost 82 million points on Scared Stiff is absolutely insane. Great scores, a great week of the Daily Grind, guys. You got another 28 minutes or so to finish up. And then, as you know, Monster Bash, you can kind of see way over here on the right, that's our monthly table for real life. So if you have access to a Monster Bash table, go play it. Post it in the Discord here, or on the iscored, and see if you can't pick next month's table. So, Jabba says all on ball 2, 800 million. Yeah, and sadly, I seen that in the one ball challenge, Jabba, but I couldn't see that it was one ball because sadly VR does not break it out. So, such a shame. I wish they did that. That's one thing that we can have on Atgames that apparently you can't get on consoles is the breakout of every single ball. You get that on Zachariah Pinball, but you don't get it on either VR or any of the Zen tables on their platforms. So it's a shame. But anyway, guys, that was the Daily Grind for this week. Again, just incredible scores, incredible participation. I'm so proud of this Discord. And really, any of you that are out there watching, you don't have to be in the Discord to play on the Daily Grind. You can play it. There's links in the description of this video if you want to try and be a part of that and play. And again, if you win, all you have to do is find a way to contact somebody in the chat, or even the comments of the video would work. You can of this video even just find a way to contact me in some way, shape, or form. You can pick a table for the following day, and we can get you locked in. So you don't have to be part of the Discord if that's not something you're privy to or you don't want. But I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Tomorrow I'm going to be mostly offline. The funeral is tomorrow for my mom. And then Saturday I'm going to be doing a memorial for her with my sister at her house. So much of this weekend will be offline and doing other things. But we're going to be doing some pinball content. There's no games to review this week. We got Supersonic EM Plus next Thursday, I believe it is. And then the following week we'll have Police Street Patrol. So really looking forward to that one. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. We did an hour and a half of a community conversation. Prayers for tomorrow, buddy. Java, I thank you, man. It's going to be a tough day for sure. I'm prepared. You know, we've done a lot of the hard work. We've got the funeral paid for. We've took care of the flowers. We've took care of the venue, and all the details are taken care of. So, I've said my goodbyes on Saturday. Was the biggest thing. I got to spend the entire day with her. Said my goodbyes and really was at peace with it on Monday when she passed. So I was able to go out. It was a beautiful day here. It was like 70 degrees in Michigan for one day only. It was just a beautiful day. I got to go outside, work in the yard a little bit, and just talk to my mom after she had passed. And it was just, it was a tough day, but it was a beautiful and horrible day at the same time. So I will never forget March 9th, for sure, 2 days before my birthday. But thank you, Soggy Bacon, for that. Wishing you the best for tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. I appreciate all the prayers and support that you guys have given me. It's been absolutely fantastic. So play some pinball. Enjoy your guys this week. I'll be popping in here and there and everywhere. I still want to stream some pinball at some point, but I got to figure out this mic issue. I think I'm going to go to OBS completely and see if that's the issue. For whatever reason, this mic works fine on Streamlabs, but anything else, any high-end mic that I use just cannot seem to do the trick. So anyway, guys, thank you for coming. You only need one ball for greatness. We prove it every week. Keep plunging, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.